Hello, everyone. I'm Jesus, and welcome to the next episode of the Road to Old School MTG. So, in this episode, I'm just going to open up some recent packages that I've received. Remember, my deck is an old school 93-94 Erhnam deck, and I have the basically the high tier version, which has Moxes and all 5 Moxes, a lot of the other Power 9 cards. So that's the main version of the deck that I will be using. However, I've just from researching, I've seen other variations of the Erhnam deck, which I also like. And I'm building a pool of cards to be able to make the deck change into Bantamgeddon, which is adds blue for aggressiveness, or so adds blue aggro into it. And there's also Erhnam on Ice, which adds Ice Storm, and the deck is a little bit different because of that. But that's another variation of the Erhnam. So it replaces the Armageddon, where it removes all the lands, and it makes it more targeted with the Ice Storms. So a lot of the cards are that I'm currently getting are towards that, to be able to switch to those formats of decks. But I'm also getting cards in general, either good staple cards that can be used for many different things. So they're not necessarily for any of the Erhnam decks that I'm making. It's just sometimes I'm just getting certain cards because I think they're good to have. And in case I ever get expired to do something, I already have the cards available. Plus, some cards I am getting for the sideboard. As I mentioned before, instead of just committing to 15 cards, I rather prefer to get several cards and then pick and choose depending on which version of the Erhnam deck I'm playing, also which format in terms of the playing that I do, right? So Eternal Central, Atlantic, right? So there's different formats to play in, and then they have different restricted and ban. The ban is always the same list, basically, anything with anti, but they may have different restricted card lists. So I just want to be able to accommodate all those different things. So I'm building a pool of cards to be able to switch things around. So a lot of the cards here are towards all those different ends, right? So it's kind of a mixed bag. Certain cards will fit for one thing, some other cards for something else. But the main thing is, let's start opening them up, seeing what it is. And like as I usually do, I will show you the listings where I bought this from, how much I paid, and so forth, where I got it from, just so that you guys have a full understanding of the process. So let me switch my cameras first. This one. All right. So this is the way basically I'm setting up my gameplay. These two should be from TCG Player, right? So these are the last two I got. I was waiting for these two, but they're pretty cheap cards. But there's other cards here that are mid-tier, a couple hundred, and then I got a couple of, if I'm not mistaken, a couple more revised dual lands, right? So then a little bit more higher tier. Okay. So right, I feel the card over here, so it should be safe to cut right here at the edge. WYOTCG, that's the seller here. Let's see. Okay, so this is my final Howling Mine. There it is. So yeah, TCG Player. So this is the receipt, and then that's the card revised Howling Mine. I've already received 3 of them. This is the last one that I needed. So for this one, I just feel it's a nice card to have. I did make a deck actually that had some Howling Mines, but not all 4. I ended up just using 2 out of the 3 that I had. I think I had more initially, and then as I was kind of play testing, I dropped it down to 2. But Howling Mines are used for many different kinds of decks. This is a old school staple, so I wanted just to might as well have the full playset. Plus, I'm kind of thinking about maybe making a turbo stasis deck, which is I've always loved, and they include Holly Mines, usually a full playset. So just thinking about ahead of for those things, I kind of wanted to get this one for that. So revised, yeah, pretty good condition. Definitely played, maybe light played, probably played condition. Oh yeah, now that I'm seeing the side reflecting the card a bit more. I have another camera which I'm going to use, but I want to see if this one at least shows a little bit of the things that I'm mentioning. Yeah, so yeah, definitely see a bit of grime on it, right? So it's just dirty in general, and definitely see a couple of scratches here and there. So I mean, it's still a fine card, right? So I'm just once again giving you as full a picture here of everything, right? Including what I end up getting. So let me now show this up in the other camera, which is better for close-ups. So here the card looks solid, right? So let's see if I can kind of, so sorry about this camera, like, oh yeah, there we go, right? You can see kind of like some staining around there on that side. There, you see? So it definitely has, you know, dirt and grime and stuff. Yeah, but then you might see some scratches here and there as well, right? So, all right, so this is actually showing some of it. At the bottom, you see Mark Pool. There's a little stain there. There, it's gone, or at least barely there. There's more noticeable, right? So definitely, you know, depending on the angle, you see more things. But you know, it's a cheap enough card, so it's fine. The main thing is now I'm going to compare it to the listing, right? So if I got this as light played, which I think I did, so this seems fine. Although none of this is the fourth one, none of the other one, which other Honey Mines, which were also light played, were this dirty, honestly. So I think this might have even go as in played, maybe. All right, so seems fine. And once again, right, nothing so expensive or anything that you know, it's not a big deal. Let's see. Okay, there we go, right? Because I got different cameras. I don't want to click on the wrong thing. All right, so let me, pretty sure that was TCG player. Let's see. Okay, there it is. Let me share screen. So WYO actually did buy something else from them, right? So it just has it, well, wrong camera, right? But I kind of flipped it over. Yep, so it says WYO listed as lightly played, but then look at my other Holly Mines, also lightly played. So 665, 687, I guess. It's kind of like a little bit cheaper than the other ones, I guess. You see it 668. So actually similar price, but this was the worst out of the four, definitely. Like no competition. The other ones were honestly very nice. But you know, I guess it's still light play, right? So like I said, I'm not going to complain. Plus I can just, you know, clean that off myself, which I'm actually going to be talking about. So all in all, okay. All right, so next, so this one's done with. So I'm starting out with the cheaper stuff, right? But definitely it's going to get more expensive very soon. So this should be the last TCG player card that I purchased. But then recently today I just bought a whole bunch again, right? So, but this is from the previous purchase that I did. So there we go, the receipt. Twiddles. Funny thing is, after the fact that after I was going through my cards, old cards, because I do have them, I found 4 Twiddles. So I mean, it's not that expensive. This was 50 cents each, right? And the ones that I have, they were not near mints, right? So I guess it's still kind of worth it. Right, so twiddles, right? Just, you know, for me, it's kind of like it's maybe good for turbo stasis deck, things like that. So it's, I mean, it's cheap enough that I wanted to have 4. Unfortunately, I already did have 4, and I didn't know. But you know, it's cheap enough, and at least these are near mint. So at least they should be, right? So it came in a plastic, and then top loader, but it was behind the cards. The cards are in a penny sleeve, it seems, and then behind it was the top loader, so they didn't fit inside because usually you can't fit 4 within the top loader. But then the other plastic was covering it, so it wasn't shifting around. So adequate protection, I guess. All right, so this should be 4 twiddles. Right, so I'm getting for right if it's cheap enough, I'm just end up just getting the playset. All right, so this one has a little bit of a printer error, which is fine. You know, that's how it came out. But definitely seeing some things. I don't know if this is. So when I look at my list, I'm gonna see if I bought these as lightly played or as near mints. Probably bought them. I don't think I bought these light play because they're so cheap. Like it makes barely any financial difference to skimp out on it. You know, it's like it's so cheap as it is. So let me, before I show off but here, like they look light play. Maybe 2 of them are near mint, but definitely 2 are light play. So once again, these are super cheap anyway, but you know, it's more like just, you know, you want to get what you thought you were getting, right? Yep, definitely. So let me share screen. So Dabbers Pro, I think I bought something else from them. I'm pretty sure I recognize his name. The other one was fine. I don't remember, but this one definitely near mint. They are not near mint. 2 of them are, 2 are not. And the 2 that are not are, I would say, pretty clearly not, right? So it's kind of like annoying, you know, it's more annoying than anything else, right? It's not, you know, I wouldn't say I lost any money. It's more annoying, right? So more annoying than anything else, but whatever. Not to the point that I'm going to take the effort to complain about it, but it's still annoying to not get what you order, or at least I don't believe I did. And I've been noticing a lot of sellers, they basically 90% of the value is basically on the front, and the back is not good. They barely take any points off of from that. So this one's pretty good. I think this is one of the near mint ones, but it has a little bit of a thing. But so let's say I won't even take any points off of that, right? So let's look at the next one. And for some of these that I noticed they were not near mint, it was more, once again, once I did the light test. So this one seems like it's near mint. Oh no, it's a tiny bit of, you know, but whatever, close enough. Yeah, this was also near mint, I would say. This one has the on the, yeah, my thumb side, right? But that's how it was printed, right? So I don't mind that. These 2 are not near mints, at least from the front. Maybe they are. So then let's jump to the back. Yeah, look at all that, and the bottom. Like, I don't know how this is not even close to me. So the front, they're fine, I guess. Oh yeah, this one also. Look on the left side, if this can focus. Yeah, look at all that. There, scratch right there, pretty noticeable. So I don't think that qualifies it. That it may light plate. I think you could go for that. So, you know, 50 cents each, right? It's not a big deal, and they're still better than the ones that I had, right? So it's not like I'm regretting It's more, once again, it's more annoying than anything else. All right. So that's that. So let me get some other of the cheaper ones. I think that's it. All right, so just one more cheap ones, and then I'll get into the more heavy duty stuff. This one should be 4 power sinks. So I fill the cards here, so I'm gonna cut on this. So power sink, so that's if, you know, full disclosure, I like blue. So that tended to be my color, like Counterspells, you know, like counter magic. So maybe I won't use it right now, or maybe I might, you know. Once again, I wanted to have the option in case I wanted to. I didn't want to have to spend time. Okay, now I want to use this card, so now I gotta order. Yeah, it's cheap enough that I can just have it right now. All right, so it came in a receipt for power sinks. They were 20 cents each. Near mint revised, so extremely cheap. Right, so that's why. So for a lot of these, that's why I just might as well get them. They're so cheap anyway. Right, but this one is particularly good for something like with turbo stasis, or actually I also built recently a winter orb deck. So just something that makes your opponent tap out his lands is pretty cool, pretty useful, right? So yeah, looks nice. So it came in, so double sleeve looks like, yep. So that's pretty cool. So they wouldn't shake around, and it was protected from all sides. So I like that idea. So for 20 cents each, revise, as I said before, revise is when I started Magic. So I am perfectly fine getting revised cards. Right? I never played any Magic during alpha or beta. So, right. So of course it's cool to have those cards, but my nostalgia for Magic started in revise. And it just so happens it's way cheaper in revise. So I'm happy about that. So yeah, compare this near mint, which are, I think it was even cheaper because the Twiddles are 4th edition actually. That's something I should double check also. I don't know if I ordered 4th edition Twiddles or revised Twiddles. Let me double check on that. Oh yep, yeah, 4th edition. I was fine about it. So I guess the revised ones either were more expensive that I wasn't willing to spend, or there weren't 4 being sold by the same seller and I had to like split it. I think that may have been the reason, right? And then that would have been annoying to me, right? Twiddle is not any, not a nostalgia card to me. It was more a useful card that I wanted to have, right? So I didn't care that it was 4th edition. I care more that I just wanted all 4 one shot. But compare now these power sinks. These are excellent. So let me show the seller here. So Game Masters, thank you. So Game Masters, Twiddle, Power Sync, 4, 20 cents each, near mint, absolutely near mint. So let's compare that to the near mint 4th edition Twiddles that I just got. Look at that back compared to the other ones. Right, so this basically, if I buy near mint, this is what I expect. And honestly, all the other cards were basically this. So this kind of annoying, and this happened. It's not like just a one-off thing, right? This one has barely a little thing there, right? You can kind of tell, but it's not a big deal. The other ones were way bigger deal, right? So it's still near mint. right? So it's happened several times. It's not like just 1, 2, or 3 times. I would say a good 10, 20% of the time I order something and I don't believe I get what I order. And either the card is so cheap that, it's not worth the hassle of complaining. It's more annoyance than anything else. Right. So, but nonetheless, it's happening enough where it's a common occurrence, right? So it's not a one-off. So it's less likely to happen, I guess, for more expensive cards because they'll include pictures, right? These, they don't include pictures. They include, at least usually, right? Most of the time, since they're so cheap, they stock photos is what they have, right? But nonetheless, near mint, right? You kind of know what these are near mint. The two of those were not, right? So a little annoying, but not a big deal. So as I was seeing that, actually, I noticed I'm still missing 2 cards that are supposed to be getting. I thought I had them. Oh no, my mistake. I do have them. Yeah, I thought I did. All right, so more more counterspell type cards, and still from TCG Player. I'm really liking TCG Player. In fact, I've earned some points already, like 20, 30 bucks from all this stuff, and I've already started using it. So 2 counterspells, I believe, in this particular one. Oops, I shouldn't have thrown it out. Okay. Okay, if I can kind of tell from, right, because I have another order of 2 also counterspells. So kind of, just to give credit to the correct seller and so forth. Maybe the 2 are very vastly different. Kind of like with the twiddle. Ooh, this one's only 1. Okay, so then that'll be easier to tell because I thought about 2 and 2, and the card just came right out of the card sleeve here. But yeah, nice. Okay, yeah. So okay, so it should be easier to find this particular one because it's just 1 counterspell. Yep, and then the other one should be 3. All right. Counterspell. All of these. Actually, this one is the one that's near mint. The other one should be light played. In fact, that'd be a nice experiment. I kind of see scuffs and stuff. I don't know if I call this. Honestly, this is also light play. It's not near mint. It's kind of disappointing. Alrighty. So once again, right? Unless maybe please let me know in the comments if I'm kind of being nitpicky here. And as I said, a lot of times you can't really tell, right? You gotta like angle things in a certain thing, but it had a couple little things here and there. Still very nice, right? So, but I think it's enough of the issues were enough to make this into a light plate. Right. So I don't think I'd call this near mint. All right, so let's go to this particular seller. So there is one Ali Doyle, $2.50. So the other ones are like $2, right? So 50 cents cheaper, but those were marked as lightly played. So we're kind of going to see the difference between what one person considers near mint and what another person considers light played. All right. So, but I mean, honestly, once again, a little bit annoying more than anything. But this one actually is decent. The twiddles, those are honestly like light play would be generous. Seem like play to me. All right, so these should be the other 3 counterspells because I wanted a play set of 4. All right, so the receipt. Yep. Counterspells, hopefully. Yep, 3 total, 2 each, $2 each. So it's not taped. Okay. Okay, it has this. Oh, that's cool. This one has a little flap built in. Oops, my mistake. It doesn't. Or does it? I don't know. But I guess they just folded up they just folded the penny sleeve, which is actually, out of opening everything, and this is the first time I've seen it. So that's why I thought it was actually built later. So 3 near mint, light plate, my mistake. So from the front, they look pretty solid. So yeah, here, some stains, kind of hard to tell. I guess they all have a little bit. This one more than the other two. The other two are actually very nice. This one compared, these two are better than this one. Or the back, this one is actually a little worse than the other two. So it's a mixed bag, but you know, correctly marked as light plate. I will yeah. Oh yeah, see this is the near mint one. I already see a scratch right there. In fact, let me see if I can, now that I notice it more, let me see if I can highlight it. So it's right by the head and the mana symbols. So this is the one that's quote unquote near mint. There, you see that scratch between the head and the double blue mana symbol, right? This is not near mint, right? So I don't think basically it's this. These might be even better, honestly, because that one has the dent. That scratch is pretty deep. Once again, it's only once you get in a certain angle, but nonetheless, it's deeply scratched. These might be just maybe lightly scratched or maybe like dirt and stuff. That's way better than being deeply scratched, right? So, you know, once again, these are so cheap, won't be complaining, but I think the first one should not have been marked near mint. Light plate would have been acceptable, right? Although maybe with that scratch, maybe played. Right, that's where it starts getting a little, you know, foggy. You know, what's light played, what's still near mint. You know, if it has a deep scratch, but you can only see it in certain angles. Is it still near mint? Can it still be near mint? Right, but the rest of the card is fine. Me, I don't think so. But you know, I'm still kind of new, right? So, ooh, look at this. The near mint one is up top. Look how much it bends in comparison. The other three are flat. And then this one. So in addition, it has a little bit of you can see it here. It's a $2.50 card, right? It's not a big deal. But as I was saying, it's more annoying than anything else. All right, but that's the final of the little ones. So this should be now bigger. I have 2 revised dual lands, and then also this should be a mana drain, right? So which is a very epic card. Okay, so should be a mana drain here. This one has the pull on it. Oops, it's already sucks. I guess it worked. So mana drain is restricted. You can only have 1. So that's why I just bought the 1. But even this one is very expensive, like 200. Oh, so this one was Card Kingdom. Ooh, I forgot about that. So I gotta quickly check my emails because I don't have a Card Kingdom. TCU player actually took the time to make an account. For Card Kingdom, like I seldom use in comparison, that it wasn't worth it. Okay, Palis. Okay, I had the price here. So I paid $206.99, $207 for it. With the tax, 13, it came out to $220. So actually, this is a nice touch that I've noticed from, I guess it was from Card Kingdom, because I purchased another one like 2 or 3 times, I guess, from them. They kind of include these little cases here, which is cool. I think I still have the other one, which I don't use, but nonetheless, it's still nice. Better to get something and not get something. All right, so just a little bit hard to open up. So Mana Drain that is not reprinted, at least not in a legal, in an old school legal one, right? It has to be same art, same card border. Ooh, very nice. So let me double check. I know it's not a near mint one. Let's see, Legends Mana Drain. So here didn't. Oh yeah, excellent. Okay. So I know Card Kingdom has. Oh, yeah, Card Kingdom has a tier. So near mints, but then they also have excellence. So this is more like light plate, I guess. So yeah, light plate, yeah, definitely, but still very nice. Yeah. You know, you can see definitely, yeah, light plate, maybe bordering on plate, but still, you know, the card itself is fine. It's just some weathering on the corners, especially in the back that you see. But the front is very nice. There's a bit of a scratch there, but it's very fine and it's only visible in certain lighting. Other than that, it's pretty cool. So once again, so this one steals the mana that that you countered it with, and then you get it yourself, right? So if you're like on a Winter Orb deck or a Stasis deck, right? So you're gonna run out of mana usually, right? Or that's a issue. So this is a strong card, and honestly, it's just a strong card in general. Look at the difference between Mana Drain and Counterspell. This will counter the card only, and this is the standard, right? Basically, of how everything is based off in terms of counterspells, right? The counterspell card. Mana Drain is just on another level. For the same amount of mana, the same effect, but you also get the mana into your pool on the next turn. Counters target spell at the beginning of your next main phase. Add X to your mana pool, where X is the casting cost of target spell, right? So X colorless, I believe. So pretty cool to have this in my collection. And as I said, I just needed the one because I can only use one at a time. So a couple little nicks up top. So this is one of those rare cases where Card Kingdom was better than both eBay and TCG Player. But once again, I think this one did not have. I'm not sure if it had the card image or not. It may have been stock image, honestly. Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't think they include. But either way, you know, because it's still a bit surprising that, you know, I wasn't sure what I was going to get, basically. But I'm happy with it. And I know the prices for these, right? So honestly, this is still a pretty good price for light plate to light plate in that general area, 207. That's why I just pulled the trigger. It was nice. It was a good price. All right, so that one's done. So now here, I'm going to be opening up the bigger ticket items. So this one should be is in a box. My Tundra. So it should be my 4th Tundra. Came in a box, if I'm not mistaken. And then the other one should be my 3rd Tropical Island. And then that one is a little special, so I gotta discuss the details of that particular card. It's related actually to the very first card I just opened up in this video, if I'm not mistaken. Right. So this is weird, right? So it's happened before where somebody's shipped a card in a box, and then but that other box it actually arrived dented. This one actually arrived intact, like no scratches, no dents. So it came in fine. But the other one, which had a more expensive card, I think one of the Power 9, that one had the you know, it was just, oh, this is hard to open. If it's a box, it'll be lumped with the other boxes in the van, or just through the whole transit journey, I believe. As opposed, if it's on an envelope, it'll be bunched up with the other envelopes. Right, so it's kind of like, it's overkill, I feel. And not only overkill, but like in a positive way, overkill, but then it doesn't even, I don't think it's even helpful, because it's just gonna get lumped with the other boxes. And then this is way a way thinner box than something like if you had a like a microwave next to it, right, in the van. So, you know, I question this method of shipment. Just kind of like the other ones, just in an envelope, or kind of like this one here, bubble mailer. Here I can feel pretty stiff inside. That's the seems the way to go. Okay, so here, plenty of padding, so that's fine. But if it was dented by anything, honestly, let's say, I don't know if all that would have protected the card itself. Yep, I see the card in there. It's just all taped up. Okay, my camera here is about to die here, the other side. So I gotta do this quick. All right, there it is. So this is now definitely for my, to turn my deck into Erhnam on ice. But honestly, it's just good. You know, I could even put in my general Erhnam again deck, because I splash blue a bit more heavily, right? Because of the, of course, the power 9. So I could easily take out some planes and instead just put tundras, right? I still get the same weight as a plane, but it also gives me access to the blues in case I want to play a, right, some of the blue power. Yeah, nice. So I think, I don't know if this had a condition listed, or maybe just, oh yeah, the guy said near mint never played. Kind of sees little things, but it like extremely minor. Honestly, I could believe him if he said they said it was never played. I see a little smudge, tiny bit, right? But that could have just been from handling. All right, so let's show more of a close up of this one, and then I'll show the, of course, the listing. But I'm touching it and everything, right? Inspecting it, feels like legit card. So, and the seller was also pretty legit, right? So yeah, I'm definitely, you know, that's your best bet. Get from somebody who's, you know, reputable with a good account history. Okay, so let me show the listing now. All right, this is the one, and pretty decent price. Right, so 451, right? Pretty better than mine rating. 420. So never played. Yep, and the card, yep, that's what I got. So I had that little white thing here. Yep, I see it on my nose. Yep, so definitely this is the same exact card. I know this is overblown. But yep, I see that imperfection on my card as well, right? So some, you know, with the experiences I had, I'm sometimes a little, you know, extra careful. But you know, it's a $400 card. You should be anyway. All right, so honestly, perfectly fine, happy with it, and mainly happy that this completes my Tundra playset. it'd be pretty cool if I could have all 10 dual land playsets, which is my goal, but that'll be several years, I'm sure. But honestly, I thought I would just stop with the 4 places of Savannah and then, you know, be take even longer. But little than know, like a month or 2 later, I have 2 more additional playsets of 4 tundras, and this is my 3rd tropical island, but I already ordered the 4th. So I do have a playset of tropical islands. I just need to receive that final one now. All right, so let's open up this one, and then this one is a bit of a special case. So I'm kind of trying something here. And honestly, after the fact, I kind of regret it a little bit, but I already did it. So came nicely packed here, bubble mailer. You can see it, you can already kind of tell, right? So this is definitely not in the best condition compared to the other ones. All right, so it came in a little case, kind of like the Card Kingdom. That's nice. Oh, I'm trying to open it. It has tape right here. So this is not big enough, you know, for a deck. So I don't know what these are for, really. Is there more tape? Okay, yeah, actually on this side, I think. Am I just not opening this correctly? The other one opened up fine. All right, just need a force. Let me inspect this. Okay, kind of weird. Okay. So this is actually pretty decent, which I did not expect. I purposely got from a seller who had selling a few of these. So he had 3 different ones. I guess he sent me the best condition one, although it is kind of warped, right? But you know, so I got this one for 400. Tropical Islands, you know, honestly, this is still a good price for something that's moderate play. And the front is pretty decent, actually, a lot better than I thought I would get. The back is where you see them, but honestly, actually, it's pretty good. So let me show the up close, and also let me talk about what was my idea, which honestly, now I think my idea might change because what I got is different than what I thought I was gonna get. So 3rd tropical island revised, because I can only afford revised, or at least I can only willing to be play in revised. Revised is the last time the dual lands were reprinted. So it's actually pretty decently conditioned, actually, the front at least. So a little bit dirty, tiny bit, right? But it's honestly pretty good. I'll show the listing, which will show you why I'm surprised. The back is more jacked up, right? Look at that. So actually the back, I gotta look at the listing now because I didn't notice a card with this bad back. So I'm disappointed with that. But you know, this price, you know, is to be expected. Let's see if I can show, see a little bit of that warpness, maybe. You can't really tell there. Maybe a bit more there. All right. Well, maybe when I put it up against another card. All right, so let me go to the listing. Actually, me get the other Tundra. The Tundra is perfectly fine. All right, yeah, there you can tell the lift up a bit more. So let me put in the other camera real quick again. See how it lifts up from the Tundra. The Tundra's at the bottom, that one's flat. You see the tropical island on top of it, just lifting up, right? It's concave, it's curled in relation, right? So it's lifting up. It should be totally flat next to each other like this, but it's not. You see, it pops right up. So it's not a big, thing. Not a, I still got what I paid for, so definitely I don't want to give the wrong impression. In fact, let me show the listings, which is, if anything, I'm surprised I got something so good compared to what I paid. So I guess the guy sent me the best one out of what he had, because he had 3 different ones. So which, if he did, I appreciate. I was thinking about getting the 4 form from him, but then I, just doing research, I found something else, of course more expensive, but I was willing to spend the extra for something that was way better condition, right? That's why I say after I got this, I kind of regretted it a bit, because maybe for 100, 120, 40 more, I could have gotten something in better condition. Right, so let me share this particular listing, right? So look at this one, right? This one is very dirty. So my idea was, I thought I was going to get something like this, actually. And actually there you see, right? So he did show the lift, you see? So this is just, must have been something that I just forgot about, right? So, but he did definitely put it there, right? Made it obvious. But it's very dirty, right? Look at this one. But he did have, so at the time he had all 3 available. And then I just bought the one. So this one, it seemed like he was just showing the same card over and over. Yeah, look at the back on this one, right? This one is way better than the one I got, or maybe it's not actually. I'm trying to just see some identifiable differences that I can tell if it's the same card that I got. No, this is not the same card I got. Definitely not. Right, but he had pictures. So yeah, so he didn't put all pictures of all 3 cards. I guess he just put one as a general idea of what you're gonna get. So all right, and it says 420, but no, it's actually, I got it for 400, right? So I think that was what he was asking for, but then he had a or best offer, right? So I offered that, and I was contemplating getting all 3 from him. And actually, he took a day to respond, and then by that point, I just got impatient and ended up finding other ones. And I was still thinking about getting a 4 from him. First, I wanted to get this one to kind of inspect, right, considering the condition. But then he ended up just selling out anyway. So my idea was actually to clean this card, right? Because I thought I was gonna get the dirty version, and I guess refurbish it, right? Or just basically just clean it up, make it better, right? So I'm thinking about kind of this as a cost cutting measure to like if the card itself is good, right? There's not really scratches or anything, right? So I'm not so happy with the crinkling a little bit, right? But it's once it's leafed up, it's not a big deal, right? So what a lot of people do that intend to use the card for play, which is what I am doing, they tend to not buy near mint stuff, right? Because it's gonna wear and tear, right? Because it's being used for playing. So a lot of people purposely get played condition cards, right? So that's why I was kind of, maybe I can save a few bucks because I've already spent over 10,000 already between everything. So and since I want more dual lands, eventually all the full 10 play set. So my it's more financially doable. I was thinking about doing that, right? And this would have been my test. But honestly, this card is clean enough as is, right? Maybe tiny couple little things here and there, but it's actually pretty clean. The back is where it's kind of worn out, right? It has that scratching, but it was still pretty cheap, and it's still a good price, right? So I won't knock anything else. I think it's fine. Actually, even better than I thought for 400, especially. Right, but so maybe I lucked out here and I got actually something better that doesn't need to be rehabbed, refurbished, cleaned up. right? It's just worn out, and that's the way it is, right? Especially in the back, but it's, you know, nothing that can be improved upon, right? Or at least barely. But I have with my older cards, right? I have some revised, and these are revised. I've been kind of cleaning. I've researched. Basically, you just get a Q-tip or just something, right? Like glasses, the, you know, the special cloth to clean the glasses, which I have, of course, and tiny dabbing of warm water. It could have some the warm water could also have a couple of drops of soap, and that's why I've been cleaning out some of my old revised cards that are basically worthless as practice, right? So because I was thinking I was going to use it for this one, but lucky me, I don't need to. But who knows? Maybe in the future that might be something I do, right? So, you know, just thinking about different routes to take, you know, different things to do. As I said, a lot of people don't do what I'm doing, which is basically, you know, this Tundra is very nice. They would, if they could have saved, right? Somebody else might prefer to save $100 and get something that's a Tundra that's in this kind of condition, right? Because then it's easier for them to get all four, because that's probably knocks a good $400 or $500 off the price, right? Which is significant. For that, you can get another dual length, right? So, those are just things I'm thinking about. So this is definitely the worst condition dual line I have by far, right? Not to say it's anything, you know, it's a played card, right? It's perfectly fine. That's what I paid for, right? But everything else I've been kind of is in the light play to near mint. So, you know, I might go this route for a couple other cards as well. As once again, cost cutting measures, because this hobby is getting more expensive than I originally anticipated. I can cover it, but, you know, nonetheless, it's getting up there. And I still want to get a Library of Alexandria, like I'm looking at the Abyss, right? There's still a lot. Mishra's Workshop, that's probably a pipe dream. Those are like $2,000-3,000 each, right? So, and they're not, usually they're not restricted. They could be, but if they're not, you can have a full place. So imagine $10,000 over 10,000 and just place it of one particular card, right? So, but that one is very niche, right? It's useful for if you have a specific your deck is specifically artifact deck, right? So if you just have a lot of artifacts and you include that, it can still be useful, right? But, you know, it earns its price geared towards the artifact decks. So, you know, I have other things in mind. That's why, you know, if I can save 100 here and there in a couple cards, if I save 100 and I buy 10 cards, right? Because I'm buying $300, $400, $500 cards, $600 cards, more than that, $900, $1,000 is spent, right? So over time, boom, that could be that Library of Alexandria, right? So, as my finances shift, as my commitment to getting near mint light plate wanes, you know, just my opinion changes, I might more go for this route, right? So definitely don't regret getting this card in this worst condition, because mainly the front is the most important that I look out for. I want this to be presentable for when I play, but other than that, the back is not such a big deal. So pretty good, and then a little bit twisted, but not so bad either. Still sleeve playable. All right, so one tropical island to go, but I did buy a whole bunch of other cheaper stuff. Once again, right, just to have options in case I wanted to go to a different deck altogether, which I have. I created like I said, I went to Orb deck. I'll be playing with that soon and seeing how that goes. That one's a fun deck on. It's not meant to be particularly competitive. It's just I just get the idea, and right, this is a game, right? It's supposed to be fun. All right, so thank you for this for watching this video. This should be other than that final tropical island is coming up. This is the last of any big hitting big price tag cards, right? Like in the several hundred range. So now just smaller stuff. Maybe it might hit 100 something like that, but should be smaller stuff from now on. But then that's because basically I'm done, right? At least generally, right? Unless I want to get that library extended, that Juzumjin, which I don't. I do, but that's for later. I have plenty enough to do, honestly, with what I've gotten, and I'm so happy with it. And when I originally started, I would think I was just going to spend $1,000 max, which I did. But then I just bought that Chaos Orb, and then those first Savannas, and then the floodgates open. I got the Power 9, and then delving into more dual lands. Now I got 3 full playsets of dual lands, one which I'm very happy with. Right, so and then a lot of very strong staples on the side here. So I'm branching out, getting a lot of different options. I can definitely turn my Erhnam deck into a budget version, into an X-Point version, into a pretty close to finishing up the Erhnam Ice. I've just bought 2 more Ice Storms, which is coming up. I still need that third, but I'm kind of waiting for a good price for that. And then I'll be fully, well, basically for the most part, be able to switch the deck to Erhnam Ice, and I think it could already be able to be switched to Bantamgeddon, right? So I'm kind of, these other versions are a little bit more obscure, so I'm kind of researching also, as I'm just not buying stuff just randomly. But I'm really thinking, at least maybe the cheap stuff is kind of random, honestly, because it's so cheap, right? But nonetheless, still researched it. I still had an idea. Right, those power sinks, they're cheap, but I had an idea. I could fit them in the Winter Orb deck if I wanted to, right, or Turbo Stasis for when I want to maybe one day create that deck, which I do, but maybe in the future. So just getting different options, that's perfectly fine by me. But I think I'll be in that ballpark now after I get that final Tropical Island. I'll kind of hold off a bit on the major purchases, but who knows? I've said that before, and then I've broken that promise plenty of times. I've gone from thinking about I was going to spend more than 1,000 to me easily now it's like 10, 12,000, I'm sure. All right, so big difference. 10 times. I was 10 times wrong on my original estimate. But honestly, I've never been so happy to spend this much money. Maybe on my guitars, that's the other thing, right? Just my musical thing. That's my other main hobby, but also profession. But then this is something I've always wanted to do, and I'm pretty happy to finally be in a position to pursue that. So, and hopefully you guys find this interesting, my journey, and just also the information, right? Just the way things go. You see the actual cards that I get, you see me opening them, you see the actual listings, what I paid for. When I get scammed, you saw all that, right? So, basically any time, whether it's a 20-cent card or a $900,000 card, I'm showing it all here to give you the full scope of old school magic, right? So hopefully you guys found this interesting. Thank you for watching. I'll leave it up to here for today.